Hello virtual golfers, welcome to another video on my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I make course trailers in PGA Tour 2K23. For this video I decided to make a course trailer of Matt F's new course, Vermilion Range Golf Club. And let's just dive in and see. It doesn't matter which pin or tee we're playing because we're not playing anyway. We're just gonna fly over the course. I actually haven't seen this course yet, but Matt F's courses are usually very good, so let's just fly over this course and see what we have here. Now when I dive into a course, I always kind of zoom out and I try to find what type of story there is in a course, in a plot. What type of course are we looking at? I'm just looking around and trying to feel what the story, if you will, of this video might be. We're talking videos that are 1 minute, 1.5 minutes tops. And in those 60 to 90 seconds, you need to be able to tell a little story. If you're just showing flyovers, random flyovers of a course, usually it doesn't work really well. So I have a general idea of the story that I want to tell with this video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the music library that I use, Epidemic Sound. It's a paid library, by the way. I feel classical music or like cinematic classical music is in place here. Modern classical. Let's go to a few more and start from the bottom up. Maybe start here. A Winter to Remember. This kind of builds up to, well, I'm not sure if it's going to build up to a climax, but it kind of builds, and that usually works pretty good for videos like these. When I listen to this music, I can kind of envision the slow moving dolly shots, like the drone flying over the course. I'm going to download this one and keep looking for some more. This one could work as well. This one could work really well. Gets a little too epic for me, but it's this, the air you breathe. It's a little too ambient for me. It's really quiet. Really depends on my mood as well. I think we're gonna go for the one that we downloaded, the first one. Or maybe, well, either the first or the second one. So now I have this music in mind. Then I go back into the game and I just, let's first look around and see what beautiful views we have. So I'm always looking for see-through options like this. Works really well to have these trees here, those two trees, to frame this image. And if you just fly between them, you get this reveal effect, which is really nice for flyovers. I'm going to remove the player, the ball, and the putting grid. I'm going to set my field of view to 26. Alright, so now, because I'm recording in OBS, I need to use Twitch Studio to do another record. I always start a little... I start here, which is ugly, but it gives me some editing space. Because I want to edit from this moment. So, reveal, reveal, reveal. Looks nice, looks nice, looks nice. Great. I can see instantly that I'm using... that I pointed the camera too much downwards, because now I have a lot of grass that is kind of, I want to say, anonymous, doesn't show us anything interesting, and I cut off the mountain in the top, so I actually want the mountain to be in the frame. So I'm going to do this again. Here we go. Disappear. There we go. This is an interesting shot. And almost done. That's done. All right. We'll end the recording. So that's one shot done. Just always try to find the best angle, and when you're framing something like a clubhouse, you really need to consider what's in the frame around it. So the composition, what do you show, what do you leave out, what's the background, what's your foreground. I usually try to use trees if there's a lot of trees on the course. I try to use those to create an interesting layered image. This might be interesting. Something like this. By using these trees and the fence here, you create depth. I actually do want a little more of those bunkers to be visible. Looks kind of flat right now. A shot like this usually takes me 2 or 3 times to get it right, because the camera movement is manual now. This feels a little too fast. I'm recording in 60 FPS, so I can always slow it down in my editing software, but I try to grab the best image I can. This is okay. Steady camera movement. Boom, that's it. Now, what's usually really good about Madhav's courses is the way he layers his bunkers. If you take a look at this hole, for instance, from the right angle, this gets really interesting visually. So now I'm just grabbing some shots to get a general feel of what this video will look like. And then we'll dive into dolly shots and create some really cool stuff. You need, the dolly is always a wide angle, and you need some variance in, some variety in your focal length. So this is more zoomed in, and the dolly is zoomed out, so you see a lot, you grab a lot of like your field of view is wide. Zooming in gives you the option to exclude a lot of stuff from your shot that you don't want in that particular frame. All right, then I'm zooming out to 60, which is the field of view that the dolly gives you. And let's see what we can do with the dolly here. Might be. Reset waypoints. Add waypoint. Actually, I'm going to add a waypoint here. I'm going to fly it over and have it kind of look down on this par 3 hole like this, I think. That looks good. In theory, we always need to check it. So it's a little bit slow to my liking. That's better. So the dolly speed determines at what speed the dolly is moving. That can really make or break your dolly shot. If it's a really slow dolly shot on a course on a hole like this, you get a lot of nothing before you see the interesting part. And I usually don't use the whole dolly shot. I pick either the one where there's tees and the hole in the frame, or just the end, like here. Okay, I don't know yet. It's not. I think the first part of it is the most interesting part. So I might go back and reset the waypoints here. I think I'm actually gonna go and come at it from here and move it like this. Yeah, there we go. Now we have some depth to it, because again, the trees on the right side and on the left, they kind of have this, they create a stage for the hole itself. It frames it really well. It reveals while you're moving forward. So that creates an interesting shot. Oh, I was recording the whole time. Now in the final edit, I think I will cut away right about here, but I'm letting the dolly run, so I have some space in front and behind the before and after my cuts. Your video editing becomes much easier if you give yourself some room. Especially on courses that have lots of trees, it's really interesting to create this top view shot. The routing reveals itself really well with tree-lined courses. So I'm gonna make that, and I'm gonna look at that light. That reflection of the sun is an interesting feature to play with for a shot like this. So I am going to set a dolly add waypoint here, and I'm going to make it go this way. Add another waypoint. See. Oh, that's a. Oh, I should have zoomed out. Okay. Let's try again. Camera settings. We need to zoom in a little more. There we go. Add waypoint. And add waypoint. Now that reflection in the river is going to be like when you have a toothpaste commercial. You will see the white teeth, and then bling, you get this shiny tooth. That effect is what I'm going for here. Dolly is way too slow. We need it to speed up a little bit. Speed it up a little more. Now, what I'm always mindful of is that you can see how the trees render while we're moving. That is something that I'm mindful of when I have zoomed out shots like this. Some trees have better render distance than others. So before I do anything, before I record anything, I take a look at how much of this tree rendering is happening. People's eyes will be focused on this. This foreground is peripheral in most people's view, so they will not pay too much attention to that. So for this shot, it's okay. But if like here and there, that would be trees rendering and rendering and rendering, I would not go for this shot. But this is okay. So I am actually gonna go and record this. Now this is like overview shots like these are usually the ones that I use for to add the course title in the video. Okay, so now we dive into Premiere Pro. I'm just gonna leave the game open. Import media to start. So we'll grab all of the images that we just created and go to downloads, and we have these two. There we go. I'm just going to listen to the okay, we have that one, and we have this one. So the inner spaces one, the one we just heard, it has kind of this dawn, sunrise kind of feel to it. I'm not really feeling it for this course, actually. I think the other one is better. So I'm going to go for that one. And now all we need to do is look at the opening shot. I'm actually going to go into the game again. For the first shot, I want a shot that doesn't say golf course right away. What have you given us, Matt? This one might work. You want to see some golf, but not a lot. That's it. All right, so now you got all these layers. There's this island, there's obviously this green complex, there's this bridge right there, and there's the par 3 hole in the background that we saw earlier. That is going to be the opening shot. So let's just import it into Premiere Pro. So I mark the beginning and the end, and I just drag it into the timeline. This was the music that we're going for. Now I always look for cues in the music to go to our next shot. So that would be the cue. We cut there. And then we go to our next clip. Let's use this one. What I do in video editing is I make sure that each clip fits the preceding and the following one. So when there's camera movement involved, I make sure that the camera movement is more or less at the same speed and in the same direction, unless I want a really big change in what we're looking at. Now what I'm going to look for in this piece of music is where does it say, ta-da, this is what we're looking at. It's building up, it's building up. That's what we're looking for, but that comes after 1 minute, so we're gonna have to cut a piece out. And cutting in a piece of music requires some precision and trial and error. You cannot just cut anywhere where you like, because there's rhythm and there's dynamics that you need to take into account. Luckily, usually there are recurring parts of a music piece that you can use to kind of overlap. And that way you can skip a whole part of the song and go to a different part that is useful because there's a nice ending or because it builds up to something. And as you can see, it takes quite a lot of time to get that right. But once you get it right, it can sound really good, like this. Here we go, build up, build up, build up. So that is it for part 1. In the final part, in a few days, I'm going to show you how I make the courses look even better by changing the lighting a little bit and changing the colors to make it look more like film. And also, we're going to work towards the final product. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.